Hello friends, today we are learning about the cardiac tamponade. It is a one type of cardiac disease. Okay, in that general characteristics, normal pericardial anatomy and physiology includes the pericardium is the membranous sac surrounding the heart, and pericardium consists of two layers, mainly vascular layer and parietal layer. Then there is about a 50 ml pericardial fluid in the pericardial cavity. The normal functions of the pericardium includes the maintaining an optimal cardiac shape, reducing friction between the beating heart and adjacent structures, then protecting the heart from other diseases which are caused by the neighboring organs like inflammation, tuberculosis, cancer, etc. Okay? Then preventing the overfilling of the heart. Now, the incidence of a cardiac tamponade includes it occurs in about 2 out of 10,000 people. Now, the definition of cardiac tamponade. Cardiac tamponade is a life-threatening complication caused by accumulation of fluid in the pericardium. Okay, it means it is a one type of life-threatening condition. It is occur due to any other disease condition, for example, coronary artery disease. Okay, it is occur as a complication of a other disease. Okay, in that what happen, accumulation of a fluid in the pericardium sac. This fluid, which can be blood, pus, or air in the pericardial sac, accumulates fast enough and in sufficient quantity to compress the heart and restrict blood flow in and out of the ventricles. This is a cardiac emergency. Okay, this is also called as a cardiac emergency. Okay, in this figure, compression of the heart due to fluid accumulation within the pericardium. Okay, in that these both figure are of a heart. In their pericardium sac, fluid within a pericardium is seen. Okay, this is a pericardial effusion. Then causes of a cardiac tamponade includes, in this condition, blood or fluid collects in the pericardium. The sac surrounding the heart, this prevents the heart ventricles from expanding fully. The excess pressure from the fluid prevents the heart from functioning normally. As a result, the body does not receive enough blood. Okay, in this condition, blood or fluid collects in a pericardium sac surrounding the heart. Okay, so that's why it prevents the heart ventricles from expanding fully. So that's why the chamber of a left ventricle is become the small. Okay, then it include cardiac tamponade can occur due to the descending aortic aneurysm, end stage lung cancer, heart attack, acute myocardial infarction, heart surgery, pericarditis caused by bacterial or viral infections, wounds to the heart. Then other causes includes the heart tumors, hypothyroidism, kidney failure, placement of central lines, radiation therapy to the chest, recent invasive heart procedures, then recent open heart surgery like a CABG. Now, the pathophysiology of cardiac tamponade includes the acute pericardial effusion. Okay, it leads to the pressure of the pericardial cavity increased. So that's why filling volume of the ventricle diastole is become decreased. So that's why stroke volume is also become decreased and automatically blood pressure of a patient becomes low. Now symptoms includes the elevated venous pressure, that is increased venous pressure, then distended neck veins, then Kussmaul's sign, that is distended neck veins, it is most important sign in a cardiac tamponade, then hypotension, tachycardia, narrow pulse pressure. Then other symptoms includes dyspnea, cyanosis of lips and nails, restlessness and anxiety, diaphoresis, muffled heart sound, then decreased friction rub between the pericardial sac. Then Beck's triad includes the Beck's triad is a collection of three medical signs associated with acute cardiac tamponade, an emergency condition wherein fluid accumulates around the heart and impairs its ability to pump blood. The signs are low arterial blood pressure, distended neck veins, and distant muffled heart sounds. Okay, so these all are a medical signs associated with a acute cardiac tamponade. Then investigations includes echocardiogram. This is a test that uses high frequency sound waves, that is ultrasound, to examine the size, shape and motion of the heart. This is the primary test used to diagnose and manage cardiac tamponade. Then cardiac catheterization, it is a tube-like instrument inserted into the heart through a vein or artery, usually in the arm or leg, that is for example femoral artery, to detect problems with the heart and its blood supply. Then chest x-ray, it is a test that uses radiation to take a picture of structures inside the body, especially bones. Okay, like this way these structures show the increased cardiac area. Then CT scan, a type of X-ray that uses a computer to make pictures of structures inside the chest. Then MRI scan, a test that uses magnetic waves to make pictures of structures inside the chest. Then coronary angiography, that is X-rays taken after a dye is injected into the arteries, allow the doctor to look for abnormalities in the arteries. Then ECG, a test that records the heart's activity by measuring electrical currents through the heart muscles. Okay, now the treatment of a cardiac tamponade. Treatments that are administered for cardiac tamponade includes the pericardiocentesis. Okay, it is a one type of procedure to drain the fluid around the heart. Then antibiotic. Okay, this is a procedure of pericardiocentesis. Okay, by removing the or drain the any pus collection or fluid collection from the pericardial sac. Then medications to help increase blood pressure to normal levels. Okay, it is according to symptoms of a patient, is medications given to the patient. Then oxygen to reduce workload on the heart. Now the nursing diagnosis includes ineffective breathing pattern related to hyperventilation. Then goal of this diagnosis include patients breathe effectively as evidenced by no tachypnea, vital signs are within a normal range. Then for ineffective breathing pattern, nursing interventions includes the monitor strictly vital signs, especially respiratory frequency, monitor the contents breathing, chest expansion, regularity of breathing, mouth or breathing and muscle, use a respirator. Then other interventions includes the give the semi-Fowler position if not contraindicated. Then rationale for that facilitates the lung expansion. Then teach clients a deep breathing exercise, okay, to take a oxygen level high, give oxygen as indicated, then give medication as indicated, monitor for pulsus paradoxus via arterial tracing or during manual blood pressure reading. Then monitor urine output hourly. A drop in urine output may indicate decreased renal perfusion as a result of decreased stroke volume secondary to cardiac compression. Then other diagnosis includes the decreased cardiac output related to reduced ventricular filling secondary to increased intrapericardial pressure. Goal of this diagnosis is to maintain cardiac output of the patient as evidenced by client heart rate, blood pressure, pulse pressure, and for this diagnosis nursing interventions includes the continuously monitor ECG for dysrhythmia formation which may result of myocardial ischemia secondary to epicardial coronary artery compression. Then other intervention includes the monitor the blood pressure every 5 to 15 minutes during the acute phase. Then other interventions, note the presence or quality of pulse, auscultations of breath sounds and heart sounds, listen the murmuring sounds, then maintain bed rest in a comfortable position during the acute period, provide adequate rest periods, assess the form of self-care activities if indicated. Then assess the signs and symptoms of congestive heart failure. Then other diagnosis includes the activity intolerance related to restlessness, fatigue. Then goal of this diagnosis includes the to increase the ability of client to perform activities of daily routine. Then assess the ability of client to perform activities of daily life. Then assess patient's need for assistive device. Assess the degree of ability performed by the client. Then assess the degree of ability performed by client. Help the people closest to identify the risk of hazards that may arise. Minimize the sources of the hazards in the environment. Then other diagnosis includes the deficient knowledge related to disease condition. Okay, for that, to increase knowledge of the patient is our goal. Its intervention includes the assess the level of knowledge of the, then educate the patient about the disease condition and every procedure, educate the patient about the treatment, educate the patient about the pericardiocentesis procedure, then encourage the patient to ask questions. Okay, so these all contents are included in a cardiac tamponade. Okay, I hope so it is helpful to you for a learning purpose. Thank you very much, friends.